Welcome to the Tyler Werner Show, discussing all the latest in Philadelphia sports.
We're going to the Super Bowl. We are going to the stinking Super Bowl, and that's all we need to know. And I was just so proud of them for the season so far. We still have some unfinished business, obviously, but we're going to pack our bags and head to Minneapolis.
Words can't really describe what I feel right now. I said it out there, all glory belongs to God. I mean, I wouldn't be here without any of that, and just I'm grateful and humbled to be a part of this team, to be in this moment, to share it with our family, our fans, all the people that love the Philadelphia Eagles, this franchise, my teammates. It is honestly unbelievable, and words just can't describe.
And now, here's Tyler Werner.
How's everyone doing? Let's make some noise, come on!
I just felt comfortable, confident and comfortable.
And we're going to the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. The 2017 Philadelphia Eagles going to Super Bowl 52. I had faith, as mentioned on the Tyler Werner Show, as discussed last week on the weekly edition of the Tyler Werner Show. I had faith that this Eagles staff, this coaching staff, this team was going to put together a win against the Minnesota Vikings. I had 17-14. I didn't have 38 to frickin' 7.
Oh, man.
But that is how this game turned out. And really, I mean, you take away that first touchdown drive by the Minnesota Vikings where, you watch that and you're like, oh, God, here we go. Maybe they're just not ready for this moment. But it was still early, my friends. You take that away, and the Eagles basically shut out the Minnesota Vikings. They got their Viking asses handed to them on a silver platter. And all the anti-Eagle people in the area, all the haters, whatever else, even hosts of sports talk radio in Minnesota want to look at other things like, oh, some fans threw beer cans at Vikings fans after the game or whatever, and there's like, come on, that's going to unfortunately happen in every fan base. People are going to look at that stuff to take away from this ass beating that the Eagles handed this Minnesota Vikings team.
I like a nice, tight, muscular ass.
That's right. People want to take away from this ass beating. For crying out loud. Once again, underdogs heading into this game. Breaking out the underdog masks. Selling out on Amazon after the Atlanta Falcons game. Mainly Lane Johnson to thank for that. And the Eagles, once again, come up big. But on also, like, there was no weaknesses shown here. No, we still got a little bit. I mean, this is a long 2 weeks. It always is a long 2 weeks to me between the conference championship Sunday and Super Bowl Sunday. It's always a long 2 weeks. I'm always looking forward to, like many of us are. It feels even longer now that the Eagles, this Philadelphia, after that unprecedented win, to me, probably by any Philadelphia sports team in any big game / playoff situation. That was the performance of a lifetime by this Philadelphia Eagles team. The ass beating of a lifetime, if you will, by this Philadelphia Eagles team.
She got a great ass.
Thank you, Mr. Al Pacino. I mean, it's just, as Nick Foles said, I mean, as Doug Peterson said after the game, it's just, yeah, this is a few days later, but it's just still hard to believe where this Eagles team is going to take on the New England Patriots. This Patriots regime making their 8th Super Bowl appearance with Brady and Belichick. In the 2004 season, I mean, the Eagles, they beat Minnesota coming out of their first round bye, and then Atlanta in the NFC Championship game that season. 13 years later, it's kind of reversed. They're taking on New England in Minnesota. So the Vikings, who maybe thought they were going to have a home Super Bowl, Vikings fans, and sorry about that.
Pump your ass!
Eagles sent the Vikings and fans that decided to crowd the Philadelphia Art Museum steps, sending them back with their tails between their legs, where they can watch the Super Bowl with this Philadelphia Eagles team in it that absolutely destroyed this Minnesota Vikings team. And this is an Eagles team that, I mean, it's just, it's outsiders / Eagle haters just totally ignore the character of this team. They ignore, like, what has been taking place here. We are guilty of, when Carson Wentz went down, I mean, I know it's becoming weekly material here, but for a reason. Carson Wentz goes down against the Los Angeles Rams, even though that week the Eagles beat the Rams in a tough game on the road. And Nick Foles comes out, first play, he bobbles the snap. I'm just thinking, oh, jeez. But the Eagles nevertheless won that game, despite afterwards just having this dead feeling that, well, where are they going to go without Carson Wentz in the playoffs? Maybe they still will get home field advantage. They have a schedule of the Giants and the Raiders and the Cowboys at Lincoln Financial Field, which may not mean it. Yeah, they still may get home field advantage, but where are they going to go without Carson Wentz out there on the playing field? And these last 2 weeks, that's just going out the window. As early as last week, to me, it went out the window because I saw something special in that Atlanta Falcons game, mostly out of Doug Peterson, out of Jim Schwartz, this coaching staff, and the resiliency of the Eagles' defense. But this past Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings, I saw everything special. I didn't just see something special. I didn't just see specialness out of it. I saw out of Nick Foles, that performance. I mean, I forget what the Vegas over was. It like 140 some yards, passing yards. The Vegas over under was for Nick Foles, or maybe it was like 170. So it was less than 200. It was almost half of the 350 plus it was, I believe, he threw in this game. I mean, the game was won once the second half. Once in the closing seconds of that second quarter before halftime, the Eagles, a quick little drive, screen pass, great play action, flea flicker here and there, and whatever. They made a great play before the end of the second quarter, set up a nice field goal, got the field, and at that point, the game was over. It was over. Because there's no way, against this Eagles defense, this Minnesota offense was going to be able to put up that many points, let alone any points. Because after that first touchdown drive, they didn't put up any points the rest of the game. And that's not as laughable as the Cowboy fans out there, the Cowboy Weasels, are fans that are actually going to be rooting for the Patriots in this area, who aren't already Patriot fans for one reason or another, because they start getting championships and they bam. And look, I respect Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, much to the chagrin of many people out there, but this is Philadelphia turf, and there are Eagle haters out there who are they're an embarrassment to themselves this week. It's Cowboy Weasel fans who haven't won diddly in this league in over 2 decades. They haven't even sniffed getting to the Super Bowl. And they're trying to pee on our parade this week. Not that the Eagles' season is over, that they've won the Super Bowl, but the scope of this accomplishment. I mean, last week was great against the Atlanta Falcons. It's like, and what they showed, they got a favorable matchup with a team that was supposed to have a great defense, number 1 in the league, that the Eagles may match up well if they remain in a low-scoring contest with, but that just went all out the window. Nick Foles, the game of his lifetime, as he said in his press conference. We got to listen to that today on the Tyler Werner Show. I mean, I had to chuckle for those who watched it or listened to it, and he comes to the podium. He's got these glasses on. He's got the old Napoleon Dynamite thing coming to mind. But at the same time, it's just, like, is this real? I mean, the performance he had, it was unreal. When the game was won, mind you, the last 15 passes he throws, he completed. After the first third down misstep that the Eagles didn't convert, he completes 10 straight third down passes. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's hard to, like, if they won this game close, like I expected them to, I and many of us go into this Super Bowl thinking, well, they're probably going to get beat by the Patriots. It was great, and, but the way they clicked on all cylinders, they have a realistic chance of beating this Patriots team. When the Patriots, they had an uphill battle. They were down against the Jaguars. I still looked at that game when they were down 2 scores. I thought, it's Tom Brady, it's Bill Belichick. They find a way. And no, not with all the cheating BS that people want to pretend only the Patriots are guilty of doing in this league. Just like when it comes to rowdy fans throwing beer cans, people act like only Philadelphia fans do that when every other freaking fan base to some extent or another does that. And if you research from an article from the Washington Post, you'll find that actually, I think it's San Diego. Actually, when it comes to arrests, this is a study, a quietly escalating issue for NFL fan violence and how to contain it. Now, it's from the 2016 season, but you get the point. Recent years, data has shown that the Eagles are they're not in the top 10 when it comes to arrests around the NFL stadium, football team stadium, during, before, after games. No, it's actually the Chargers. This is the average number of arrests at NFL games 2011 to 2015, with the most being the San Diego Chargers at 24.6, which includes regular season games. And then it goes Giants, New York, Jets, Raiders, and Steelers. Steelers with their 6 Super Bowls. And I believe it shows the first 5, but I believe I saw somewhere else that the Cowboys were ahead, that they have more arrests in this study, where with police reporting in this article of more arrests than the Philadelphia Eagles per season. So there you go. You freaking cowboy weasels. I'm going to try to pour cold water on this beatdown of a lifetime when you were rooting for the Minnesota Vikings just because you don't like the Philadelphia Eagles, just because you can't respect what is going on here with this unprecedented locker room culture, it seems, in Philadelphia Eagles history. It's special. Absolutely special is what is taking place here.
This guy is a special dude right here.
It's like they're all special dudes. Doug Peterson, Howie Roseman, Jim Schwartz, the rest of the coaching staff, the higher-ups, Jeffrey Lurie.
You got to open your heart.
Who, continues to embarrass himself with these sideline dances and locker room. But you know what? It's it's all in good fun. I can't dance myself, so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna poke too much fun. But just it's just special. What Nick Foles was able to do in that game, in a big situation game. I mean, look, I'll continue to say it. Don McNabb, like him or not, at this time, he is the best quarterback we've had in Philadelphia Eagles history. Now, I venture to think that by the time Carson Wentz calls it a career, I venture to think with Carson Wentz in tow here, there's going to be multiple Super Bowl appearances on the horizon. And hopefully, multiple Super Bowl championships. And ultimately a better career resume than Donovan McNabb with Carson Wentz. But this performance by Nick Foles has topped any playoff performance by Donovan McNabb. I'm sorry, that's just you can't argue against that.
I'm embarrassed.
See, this game, it wasn't just about the Eagles' defense shutting down the Vikings after that first drive. Whatever adjustments were made by Jim Schwartz, I mean, again, you got to play it.
Yes.
We're gonna pick
yes, Jim. I love it, man.
I love it, Jim, what he's able to do. And again, I hope to God he is on this. He doesn't get a head coaching position anywhere else. That he is the Eagles' defensive coordinator next year. Remains to be seen. But again, Jim Schwartz, this defense, you can count on them week in, week out, it seems, to do their job. To make adjustments after that first touchdown. And the rest of the game, not allow anything else. But this offense, against this supposed number one Minnesota defense, where defense travels, as the saying goes. And the Eagles total, I mean, there was the pick six, of course, and the Patrick Robinson. We cannot sell that short. That right there, that play, to me, when I saw that, I thought that's the rest of the game. Case Keenum's going to be shaky. That's what I said was going to happen, or I said had the potential to happen. The Eagles, they were going to be able to get to Case Keenum. They were going to be able to rattle him a little bit, maybe make an interception or two, force a fumble or two. They were going to, and they would get in his head. It wouldn't be sunshine and rainbows like it may be typically. Well, guess what? That pick six, that play, came early, and I thought from there on out, they're going to be in his head. They're going to get pressure. He's rattled. Any kind of pressure near, he's going to get shaky. That's what happened. And from there on, it was all gravy with the Philadelphia Eagles offense, essentially, putting up 31 points, given the pick six from the defense. So, but they just, I mean, what else can you say? They tore him apart. Inside out, outside in. It was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I'm like, this game's over, and it's only the first half. They put up 24-7 at halftime. This game's over. And the second half, they just continued to move the ball down the field. They they were in La La Land. It was unbelievable. And again, all the haters out there, the Skip Baylesses of the world that, don't want to give up the Colin Cowherds, who earlier this season said we had to be the dumbest fan base in all of football or all of sports or whatever he said, for running, quote unquote, running Andy Reid out of town. Well, look at this. Doug Peterson, his second season, and this Eagles team is 13-3 and in the Super Bowl without Carson Wentz under center during the playoffs. Eat it. Unbelievable. All the doubters, all the haters, even regardless of what happens in the Super Bowl, this Eagles regime, what they were able to do here without Carson Wentz under center. Look, he's on the sideline, and I'm sure that has a seriously positive impact on Nick Foles. I mean, that's kind of the chilling factor about this. You see Carson Wentz on the sideline with the team. He's not out there playing, but it's like, it's Ginger Jesus reincarnated or something. It's unbelievable, Like Carson Wentz out there, like this unbelievable, like hand of God or something, rubbing off on Nick Foles in some way. And Nick Foles almost looked like Carson Wentz in a sense out there, with the kind of throws he was making that he never normally makes to that extent. It's unbelievable. Maybe we ought to keep a tally. Somebody maybe keep a tally of how many times I say it's unbelievable, or how that I already have said that. Or how many times that, you're at work, you're talking with your Philadelphia Eagles fan buddy or whatever, and how many times they say, I can't believe this, or this is unbelievable. It is. It's different. It's different than 2004. We expected this Eagles team was going to get to the Super Bowl. Well, come Carson Wentz going down, we didn't expect that. We didn't expect this blowout win against the Minnesota Vikings, where the Patriots, what are they going to look at this game This Eagles performance, like what weakness did they show that they're going to exploit? All the strengths are out there, but it's like where are they going to find a weakness that was shown in this where it's like, oh, here we can exploit them here. And that's not to sell Bill Belichick short. The genius that is Bill Belichick and whatever.
I've been to the grocery store in a couple of years.
You get my point. What a stellar performance. Whereas the Eagles, again, Jacksonville, they had Patriots on the ropes. They couldn't totally bury him. They couldn't totally put him away. That's the beauty of what the Patriots do. Bill Belichick, they make adjustments. Tom Brady, come from behind victory. Nothing new. But again, this is just another prime example of the Patriots doing what they do best and getting the job done. Eagles, Patriots, Super Bowl 52 at Minnesota.
It sounds great.
We'll dive more into the game, the Super Bowl game itself next week. We still got a little bit of a ways to go. It's just we're still in this state of disbelief, if you will, what the Eagles were able to accomplish in that game, how they were able to do it, and just the fact that this is an Eagles team with confidence up the rear end to go into this game, that they are ready to suit up and play the Patriots now. It's like that's how it is. That's like the feeling. And we're talking about it right here in the Tyler Werner Show. We'll be back with more. We're going to take a listen in then as well. Maybe a little bit of Doug Pearson, but we do want to get to this Nick Foles for those who didn't hear it. We'll talk about it right here on the Tyler Werner Show.
How's everyone doing? Let's make some noise. Come on.
Right after this.
Okay, Rocco, pretend I'm the girl that you want to ask out on a date.
How about maybe you and I, maybe we go out together, get something to eat. I don't know, maybe laugh a little bit. Who knows, I don't know. Would you like to maybe, you want me to go out together? What do you think? Would you like to?
You need to make more eye contact, and you sound way too nervous.
You want to hear me say it? You want to break me down? All right, I'm afraid. For the first time in my life, I'm afraid.
Having a tough time asking out ladies? You need to see Clubber Lang for a lesson.
Hey, woman. Hey, woman. I bet you stay up late every night dreaming you had a real man, don't you? I tell you what, bring your pretty little self over to my apartment tonight, and I'll show you a real man.
Build confidence with the ladies like never before with Clubber Lang's dating services. The most highly recommended in all of the Delaware Valley.
I am ranked number one. One! That means I'm the best.
The champion of game day catering is the official meatball of the Tyler Werner Show, Brady and Belichick's slow-cooked Italian meatballs.
We prepare our balls over time, and that's the essence of the preparation.
On top of that, another trademark of Brady and Belichick's slow-cooked Italian meatballs is Brady's signature rubbing process.
When I pick balls out, to me, they're perfect. I don't want anyone touching the balls after that. I don't want anyone rubbing them. To me, those balls are perfect.
What is a concern is the texture of the balls, and again, that's the point that Tom hit on hard.
The champion of all game day catering dishes is Brady and Belichick's slow-cooked Italian meatballs, the official meatball of the Tyler Werner Show.
That's right, the official meatball of the Tyler Werner Show. Brady and Belichick's slow-cooked Italian meatballs. Philadelphia Eagles to take on Brady and Belichick in Super Bowl 52 as we are gearing up. It's still early in the process. We still got a ways to go, it seems, until the Super Bowl, and next week is it's just one of those things. It's gonna drag. That's how it is when it comes to the 2 weeks between the Super Bowl and the NFC and AFC championship games, and with the Eagles involved this year, it's going to drag a little bit. But here we are, we're already midweek, as we discuss on the Tyler Werner Show. And we are looking forward to the Super Bowl without question. Just to check around other Philadelphia sports in the meantime. How about them Flyers? Not to take anything away from this big win with the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship. Flyers ascending in the Metropolitan Division, which, by the way, is just absolutely tight. It just goes to show you, the Flyers were once 7th in this division earlier in this season, I believe around the time where they were digging themselves out of that massive 10-game losing streak. But come Thursday, they will have a tough test with the Tampa Bay Lightning at the Flyers. But again, the Flyers, winners of four straight games, they've been turning it on as of late. Back-to-back overtime wins this past Sunday and Tuesday. And right now in the standings, the Metropolitan Division, Flyers tied with the New Jersey Devils, who have played one less game than them, but we're looking at the Blue Jackets, Penguins, right below the Flyers with 55 points. The Rangers, 53 points. The Islanders also 53 points, and the Hurricanes 8th in the division with 50 points. But again, that's like the Capitals lead the division with 61 points. But again, there's not a whole lot of separation here between these 8 teams in the division. So as we're coming up on the Olympics, the little Olympic break, but after that, you got February, you got March, you got the push for the NHL playoffs. And it's looking like things could get really interesting down the stretch with the Flyers and just the whole division in general that they're playing in. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia 76ers, they rebounded tonight against the Chicago Bulls, the Wells Fargo Center, which you would hope that they'd rebound against the Chicago Bulls. The Sixers are just flat out a better team. Ben Simmons, how about this? 19 points, 17 rebounds, and 14 assists.
Oh, man.
That's insane. For Simmons to shoot the ball enough to actually get 19 points for one thing. How about that? Ben Simmons all over the floor. 39 minutes played against the Chicago Bulls team. That does deserve a roaring round of applause. Another triple-double under Ben Simmons' name. 17 rebounds, 14 assists, 19 points. There you have it. Joel Embiid put in 22 points. Sarge, 21 points. So, good win by the Sixers to kind of bounce back from a disappointing loss to the Memphis Grizzlies on Monday. But other than that, it's been, the Sixers, they've kind of been lighting it up as of late with Joel Embiid in the mix. And that's what you want to see. But again, Ben Simmons, he's got to keep shooting it. We want to see him evolve his shooting game.
I agree.
And the way to do that is, you got to take more shots. And that's the bottom line. So, we're going to get into this Nick Foles' press conference. For those maybe who didn't hear it, coming out of the NFC Championship game on Sunday, the game of his life. Everyone down Broad Street heard that. That celebrating. Let's take a listen in to Nick Foles. Let him do the talking, as he is leading this team into the Super Bowl, dare I say, along with a stellar defensive performance and just an all-around great Philadelphia Eagles team win as they head into the Super Bowl.
Nick, did you consider at one point you thought about maybe saying goodbye to the NFL, and then here you are, you come back here, and the game that you had today, the Conference Championship, and now you're going to the Super Bowl. Can you just tell us that emotion of being at this point in your career right now?
Words can't really describe what I feel right now. I said it out there, all glory belongs to God. I wouldn't be here without any of that, and just I'm grateful and humbled to be a part of this team, to be in this moment, to share it with our family, our fans, all the people that love the Philadelphia Eagles, this franchise, my teammates. It is honestly unbelievable, and words just can't describe.
Nick, you said last week that there were going to be chances down the field you guys had to take them. Is that the plan going in?
Yeah, we want to be aggressive. This is Minnesota, one of the best teams in football. Obviously, their defense is one of the top defenses in the league, so we had to go right at them and be aggressive. And we were able to execute well. That's a great team. But I was really proud of our guys for our execution today, and we were able to get a great victory. And now we're heading to the Super Bowl. It was pretty unreal.
When did you know you were in rhythm and you had it going on today?
Felt good before the game, and being the NFC Championship game, my first time to ever playing it, just the journey that's happened the last several years. It's an emotional thing, so you just want to settle in. But very soon, just looking at the guys on the sidelines pregame, being in the locker room, everyone was just locked in. Because I'm going to say it again, we lean on each other, we play for each other, and that's what's special about this team is, there's never going to be a time where we turn on each other or anything. We're always going to be there to support each other, and that's the beautiful thing about the Philadelphia Eagles. And just going into the game, just getting first downs. We missed a couple of big plays early, but we just kept firing. Coach Pearson called an amazing game, and we were able to execute.
Nick, what was it about that game that helped you settle into a rhythm and start playing?
I think the big thing tonight is we were able to do a bunch of different stuff. If you watch the game, there's, try to keep them out of rhythm, because that defense does a really good job. If they can catch your rhythm, they're, almost unstoppable, but we were able to keep them off balance. And anytime you go against any sort of defense, you want to keep them off balance. So I think we did a great job of that. The coaches did an amazing job giving us, the scheme this week, and the guys did a great job executing it tonight.
First touchdown to Alshon. What was kind of going on there? It seemed like a scramble play.
Yeah, it was sort of a broken play where they thought they probably had a sack, and I was able to get out, and Alshon made an amazing play. He saw the coverage, and he sort of approached it like a scramble drill, and I was able to get away and get the ball out there to him. He made a great catch, and the O-line did a great job blocking all night, first and foremost.
How much did that pick six early in the game pump up the offense? After the score and then after the interception?
I don't think it just pumped up the offense. I think it pumped up the whole city of Philadelphia. I think everyone down Broad Street heard that. And I can only imagine what's going on Broad Street right now. I know everyone's having a good time, as they should. But that pick six, anytime you get a pick six, that's a momentum change. P-Rob, that was huge. He made a play, and it was unbelievable. Biggest play of the game right there, momentum shift.
There were a couple missed opportunities on that first drive, but we got it for free.
Yeah.
Was that the message after that drive that we can?
I think the big thing is, we were ready for the challenge. Our guys didn't go out there and play with fear. We wanted to play aggressive. We believed in each other. We leaned on each other, and we knew we could make some big plays. We missed some early, but it didn't change Coach Pearson's game plan calling, and our mentality never changed. We were just going to go out there and play, and we executed at a high level tonight.
Anything bad? questions after that game quite different than now. How do you explain the difference in the way you played then and today?
In sports, everything's a process. Anything you do in life, when you work at it, it's a process, and you can't give up. Everyone wants to, when it's a bad outing, wants to be really critical, and I get it. That's part of the media. I totally understand. But as players, I think, going back to the special thing is no one in the locker room doubted me. Everyone just kept believing. We kept working. We kept getting more reps in practice. We wanted more games, and it's just a rhythm thing. You just have to keep working. You're not going to always have a great day. I'm sure down the road I'm going to play a bad game again. Like, that's the game of football. You're going out there and you're competing at a high level. So you should never get down. You should always learn from those experiences and then look forward to working through them, because that's the beautiful thing when you look back at the journey and realize that it wasn't always great. There was bumps in the road, but you were able to overcome them with, the people that are around you, the people that believe in you and love you. I mean, that's a special thing, and that's where, in this moment, it's something I reflect on. There's so many people in my life that have been there for me, my family, my wife, my parents, my in-laws, my brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, sisters. I mean, in this moment, I reflect on them and just so grateful for them, grateful for the family I have. And that's what's so special about moments like this, because you have an opportunity to reflect and be grateful.
You played good games before. You had a 7-touchdown game, obviously. Was that the best game considering the circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even had time to really comprehend what is going on, to be honest. I don't know if I ever will. It's unbelievable. When I was up on that stage, that's something you dream about as a kid. And, just being the magnitude of this game, and for us to go out as a team and put together a great performance, I mean, that's something really special.
Before you came out of the game, there was a moment where I think you met Doug on the sideline, and he said something to you. What did he say, and what was that moment like?
Coach Peterson is an unbelievable coach to play for, and in that moment, it's simply just proud of me, proud of us. I'm proud of him, because it's been a journey. This has been a crazy journey this year with what's gone on. It's been, if you really look at it in detail, all the obstacles, everything, all the injuries, everything. Y'all know it all. Y'all write about it all the time. It's a testament to the coaches we have, the people at the NovaCare facility, all the players. And in that moment, it's just to embrace. I mean, Coach Peterson was the one who drafted me. He was the only coach who flew down to Texas and worked me out. I was only worked out by one team privately, and it was by Coach Peterson. And then Coach Reed and the Philadelphia Eagles took a chance on me. So in that moment, to win this game for him and this organization is something very special.
Nick, what did you said no one in that locker room doubted you? How did you know that? Was something ever said to the guys?
You can just feel it. When people doubt you, you can feel it. I mean, we're all human. Like, we can keep it real. Like, someone doubts you, These guys I played with, and they knew that I would eventually just keep working at it. They know me as a person, they know me as a player, and we just kept working. We kept getting extra routes. We kept working on all the little things. We kept talking through everything, and that's a testament to them. And I'm grateful that these are my teammates.
Nick, your movement in the pocket tonight was outstanding. I know a lot of that is instinctive, but was there anything else, like maybe comfort with the game plan or just the flow of the game that allowed you to move that way?
The O-line did a great job. I mean, that's a really good defensive front, and they do a lot of different looks. So there's some different blitzes that we had to pick up. So there's a little bit more movement in the pocket just from the different blitz angles. But I just felt comfortable. I trust the guys up front. I know they always do an amazing job. I mean, that's the key to an offense is the offensive line. And we have, the most athletic, best offensive line in the league. I mean, those guys are unbelievable. I mean, each one of them can probably beat me in a race. That's how athletic they are. So it's to have them in front of me to block and do everything they do. They did a great job all night, and I just had to move around a little bit in the pocket. That's it. But they picked it all up.
As a quarterback, how much do you enjoy Doug's aggressiveness, whether it's going down the field with a few seconds left in the first half or the flea flicker?
Yeah.
How much do you guys enjoy playing for a coach that's that aggressive?
Oh, we love it. I think he just has such a great feel for the game. He played quarterback for a long time. He's coached for a long time. He can feel it, and that's where keeping the team off balance and knowing what's working for us and the rhythm of the offense. Football is a game of rhythm, and tonight the downfield stuff opened up, and we were able to execute that. Every week it changes, though. I mean, the last week, y'all talked about how short everything was, and But that's the game plan. I mean, it's different defense. Not every single defense in the NFL plays the same way. So this defense was a different defense than last week, and we'll face another defense this next week.
Carson was one of the first people to greet you when you came off the field. What did he say to you, and just what has he meant in terms of game planning and being in your corner the last couple of weeks?
I mean, everything. I mean, it's Carson, Nate, and I have worked together this entire year. And he's a huge reason we're in this position. And it's been awesome just being around him and just seeing, he's handled this thing amazing, and he continues to be such a great leader in the locker room. When we go through a game plan, when we watch film in the morning, when we go through everything, he's an extremely intelligent player, so I listen to everything he says. But in that moment, you just embrace. I mean, it's been a crazy year. It's been a long year. We work together every single day, long hours, and you don't really have to say anything. A hug goes a long ways.
Nick, is Doug the most aggressive, and some guys have said unconventional coach that you played for?
I played for some amazing coaches. Doug's an unbelievable play caller. But the thing, it's hard to rank because there's so many great coaches, but he's definitely up there. But I know he'd probably tell you too. We have a great staff that works with him to create these game plans, and then he does a great job of executing when to call each thing. But our staff is unbelievable at game planning, putting us in position, whether it's the run game, the pass game, the screen game, whatever it may be. The attention to details, they're unbelievable. We go into a game feeling 100% confident because of our staff and the work they put in, the long hours they do to get this game plan to us to go out there and execute. So that's a lot when you're an athlete, when you go out there and you trust everything.
What was the reaction when Doug called the flea flicker? What was the reaction in the huddle?
I think you just try not to smile. It might have. I don't know if I've ever run a flea flicker. So it was my first time, so I just tried not to smile because anytime you're a quarterback and you can do a little play like that, it's pretty exciting. And sometimes they go really bad. So I'm just glad it worked, and we were able to get a touchdown out of it.
Malcolm Jenkins said that was the loudest he'd ever heard in the league, especially on the pick six. You've played more than a couple of games here. Was that the loudest?
Absolutely. And this place gets loud. And I said it during the press conference this week, the fans were amazing. That is so hard when you're the opposing offense and you're trying to get your checks, you're trying to communicate, you're trying to say the play in the huddle, you're trying to do all these things. That is a huge advantage, and it's shown throughout these last several years here in Philadelphia, the loudness of the fans and the passion of the fans. And that's why this thing is also so special, because we got to celebrate this victory in the Link, in Philadelphia, and just have everyone going crazy. And I know everyone's going to enjoy themselves tonight. Please be safe, but have fun.
Thanks,
Let's make some noise. Come on.
So there he is, Nick Foles, wishing everybody be safe. Now, of course, that was Sunday night, but how about that? It just kind of shed some extra light, I guess, into the culture that is taking place here with this Philadelphia Eagles team. It's just, again, it's amazing. Nick Foles really, I thought, conveyed that well. The team that they're not doubting Nick Foles, and certainly after that performance, there is plenty of reason, at least from that game, not to doubt Nick Foles. Again, you just wonder, you got an experienced coaching staff, obviously, with Bill Belichick and his crew, his defensive coordinator, and you got Tom Brady, and the experience edge is certainly in the favor of the New England Patriots. But then again, the Philadelphia Eagles, it's like Lane Johnson said right after the game, they got work to do. He wants to, he wants to go after that pretty boy Tom Brady, is what he said.
To me, those balls are perfect.
So I don't know. I don't know the lack of experience. The Eagles, it's just another football game. I'm not going to get too caught up in the moment. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. We'll continue to talk about it. We're going to take another break. quickly and then wrap things up quickly here on the Tyler Werner Show. Stay tuned for more right after this.
Investigators are calling it the heist of the century. The grand robbery of Brady and Belichick's slow-cooked Italian meatballs, committed by some apparently hungry NFL officials who love their balls.
When I came in Monday morning, I was shocked to learn of the news reports about the balls and the process that happened between when they were prepared and went to the officials and went to the game.
As shocked as Belichick was of the news, perhaps Brady, the last man out of the kitchen on that Sunday night, was even more shocked to hear of the news of the theft.
I have a process that I go through. It was the same process that I always go through. When I felt them, they were perfect. I mean, I wouldn't want anyone touching those. I would zip those things up and lock them away, and that's what I thought I was doing.
As Brady and Belichick up the ante on their ball security, you'll just have to pick up a pack of their meatballs the next time you hit the grocery store and enjoy just how perfect these balls really are.
Tom's personal preferences on his ball security are something that he can talk about in much better detail than I could possibly provide.
It's no big news flash that many people, you included, eat as a way to medicate themselves. You can choose to worry about it or not. You can choose to panic about your situation or not. It's clear what you must do in order to make important changes.
5 letters here. RELAX. Relax. We're going to be okay.
In order for you ever to effectively figure out and map how to get to where you want to go, you have to first know exactly where you are starting.
RELAX. Relax.
You have to be willing to change what you're doing. You can change your behavior.
We're back on this edition of the Tyler Werner Show, NFC Champion edition, as the Philadelphia Eagles take the NFC title this year.
That's exactly right.
That's and you know what? I had faith that this Eagles team was going to get it done, as I said last week, as I said earlier. But nobody saw this coming. I don't think anybody saw against this Vikings defense. Nick Foles, 26 for 33. 352 yards. 3 touchdowns. Zinging the ball down the field. The way Nick Foles did. Well, I think he averaged 4.8 yards per completion. I believe in maybe that's not counting yards after the catch against Atlanta. But you get the point. This game, he averaged, and do the math here, he averaged almost 14 yards per completion. Between 13 and 14 yards per completion is about what he averaged. I mean, they didn't rely, I guess, too heavily on the run. I mean, they just did whatever they did, and it worked this game. But J.J., a respectable 18 carries for 73 yards. Garrett Blount ran one in for a touchdown. In the receiving core, how about this? You got a laundry list here. Zach Ertz, 8 receptions, 93 yards. Of course, a staple in the passing game. Alshon Jeffrey, 5 receptions for 85 yards. Of course, 2 touchdowns. Of course, he had that huge bomb. 17 yards a catch. Torrey Smith checking in the game a little bit. 5 receptions for 69 yards and a touchdown, of course. Nelson Aguilar, 3 receptions for 59 yards. 19.7 yards per his 3 catches. Jay Ajayi out of the backfield, a few catches. Trey Burton with 1. Corey Clement with 1. Clement not quite playing as big of a role in this game, but again, it was just Nick Foles all day, really.
Let's make some noise, come on!
And certainly the Eagles receivers here, Torrey Smith coming a little bit more alive here. Alshon Jeffrey, a 2-touchdown threat this game. Zach Ertz, his usual high contributions that you would expect out of him. And then we're going to see what this Eagles team is going to be able to do against the New England Patriots next week. We're going to break it down a little more so next week. This was kind of just reaction week on the Tyler Werner Show of what took place at Lincoln Financial Field this past Sunday. Next week this time will just be a few days away from Super Bowl 52. I just don't... This Eagles team, they just leave me with this feeling of destiny. Like there's just something in the air this year with the Philadelphia Eagles. There's something in the air after that interception, like Nick Foles alluded to in his press conference following the game, and how it just got so loud. As loud as it ever got there. Now, of course, this is going to be on a neutral field. Supposedly the Eagles are like, quote-unquote, the away team here. They are going to be wearing their midnight green uniforms, apparently, from what I heard. And Patriots wear their white uniforms. Hoo-ah! So, Eagles green certainly will be for all to see there. And really, that's what we're looking at. It's gonna be different. But then again, supposedly, a lot of people are rooting for around the nation. It doesn't surprise me that the Brady Belichick regime here with the Patriots has this supposed, scandalous reputation, and I don't look too much into. I just look at them. They're just great, and people are out to look for things in this New England Patriots organization that they're cheaters and this and that and whatever. The officials are always on their side, and I don't know. Maybe they just play the game a little cleaner, more fundamentally sound, and therefore get less calls against them. And I'm watching that Jackson, and people are complaining about certain calls. They're trying to. I look at the call, and you know what? They're worthy penalties that were called against the Jaguars. There was nothing too outrageous there that I saw. But people are going to complain. But that would make an Eagles Super Bowl victory here that much more monumental. Because all the injuries the Eagles had this season, all the success that the Patriots have had over the years, and how they're right back in another Super Bowl, their 8th Super Bowl appearance under this regime of Brady and Belichick. This Eagles team that has been an underdog, that was written off heading into the playoffs. Glorified underdogs against the Falcons. Still, for the most part, glorified underdogs against the Minnesota Vikings from a national perspective. And, I guess probably underdogs against the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, given the experience, the quarterback play, the coaching wizardry that may be in their favor, the overall experience of having been there, and that again, this would all make this victory that much more monumental. Philadelphia Eagles, first Lombardi Trophy after all that has taken place this season. The Patriots, just kind of another walk in the park season for them. What you expected. What I expected. They're probably going to go right back to, they're probably going to win, between 13, 14 games and get home field advantage and waltz into another Super Bowl, which they did. The Eagles, it was an uphill battle. Full of injuries. Times where this team looked like, they're whimpering in the playoffs. They're probably not going to go anywhere. Times of doubt. And look where they got to now. Look at that last game, that NFC Championship game. And it's just amazing the journey that has taken place this season. So we will keep everyone posted. Talk to you next time on the Tyler Werner Show. We're going to break it down. We're going to preview the Super Bowl with the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles going head-to-head this season. A bit of deja vu of Super Bowl 39 when the Eagles indeed took on a younger Tom Brady and a relatively younger Bill Belichick as well at that time. And many years later. 13 years ago, I was I was just a teen. I just turned a teenager. No longer that by far. But still, the teenager in me wants to see this Philadelphia Eagles team go up to Minneapolis and defeat this New England Patriots team. Be the first to do it since Eli Manning and that miraculous second Super Bowl title that he achieved with the Giants several years ago. Everybody have a great weekend. Fly, Eagles, fly as they prepare for Super Bowl 52. And we will break it down. We will preview what is to come. Super Bowl 52 with the Philadelphia Eagles right here on the Tyler Werner Show.